Legacy means a lot of things to a lot of people. To some, it's lasting integrity. It's building and maintaining a history of greatness. It's making an impact on people and community. For others, it's dependable security and assurance in an uncertain time. To us, it's all of that and more. It's a mindset, a brother and sisterhood of hardworking people dedicated to doing the right thing for you and those you care about. Of growing today for a better tomorrow. That's what legacy means at Southwestern Legacy Insurance Group. What does it mean to you? Let's talk legacy.
Hello, I'm Gary Michaels, one of the founders of Southwestern Legacy Insurance Group, and welcome to Let's Talk Legacy. I'm really excited to bring on Mr. Bill Madlock. And Bill, I'm going to give you a little bit of an intro here. You got quite a resume. In a 15-season career as third baseman for 6 Major League Baseball teams, Madlock, nicknamed Mad Dog, compiled a .305 batting average with 2,008 hits, 163 home runs, and 860 RBIs, and was a 3-time All-Star, including 1 All-Star Game MVP honor. Madlock won 4 National League batting titles, one of only 3 right-handed hitters to have won multiple National League batting titles since 1960, and the first player to win multiple batting titles with 2 different teams. He's also a World Series champion with the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1970. So let's get right into some questions, Bill. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Great. So let's go back to high school.
That's a long time ago.
It is. And you excelled in nearly every form of athletics offered, playing basketball, football, and baseball. You received 150 scholarships offers, which is amazing. As a basketball player, around 100 for football, but only 2 for baseball. What made baseball special for you, and why did you decide to pursue that over other sports?
Well, I guess because we had a minor league baseball team in Decatur, the Decatur Giants, and I got a chance to be around some of the ball players back then, Vida Blue, George Hendricks, and they talked to me, and I enjoyed what they always said. You know, they enjoyed the game, they enjoyed the traveling. Obviously, it was tough in the minor leagues, but they were doing something that they loved.
Vida Blue, I'm sure you have many stories with Vida Blue, huh?
All right. Not only I seen him way back then, I was a teammate of him in San Francisco.
Absolutely. So you had an impressive Major League Baseball career, which I know people tell you all the time, including those 4 batting titles, All-Star MVP award, and a World Series title. On a list of such great accomplishments, which one of those means the most to you? And maybe there's been some other accomplishment that even means more.
Well, I think for us baseball-wise, is winning the World Series, because I started out with San Francisco in '79 in last place, and I ended up being a World Series champ with the Pirates. And, you know, I got a chance to be a teammate of guys like Dave Parker, Willie Stargell, Randy Stennett, who passed away, you know, not too long ago, Manny Sanguin. So that was a great team to be around, and that was a lifelong friendship with those guys that I played with in Pittsburgh.
You also had the opportunity to play internationally in the late 80s. What was the appetite for baseball like in Japan compared to America? Was the competition more? What was the difference in the two?
Well, the players were a lot smaller back then. They don't have nobody like the guy from California Angels. You know, this kid is 6'5", 200-some pounds. He's just amazing ball players, you know. They basically played small ball back there. You know, we had 2-to-1 game, 3-to-1 games, and they were just very slow game down there, you know. But, you know, since Ichiro and all those guys, players are getting a lot better now. A lot bigger than you there. You know, guys who went to not only Ichiro, Mushu, who played for the Yankees, those guys are really good ball players. And matter of fact, it's a lot easier for them to come over here now because they don't have that money that they pay, you know, to talk to the players like they used to. So you're going to see a lot more international players from Japan, Korea, Taiwan. So, you know, just seeing a lot more every year.
Is there a different type of work ethic internationally?
That's an understatement. It's a 24 hours a day workout schedule for those guys. Those guys never stop. You know, they're 6 or 7 hours every day.
So you had your time playing baseball internationally with so many different clubs and winning and losing seasons, but it is a whole different thing being a coach and being a leader. That's a whole different giant when you're coaching people. So you had a highly successful coaching career too.
I coach, for Detroit, and I was in the Boston organization. I was in Detroit, but one big thing different. When I played, my job depends on what I did. And the biggest thing about coaching now, your job depends on what other people do.
Right.
And that's what's the, toughest thing about, they always, I played for the Dodgers. I think Tommy Sorter was one of the greatest ambassador of baseball, but he always had a great coaching staff too. Just like any business, the people below you who's going to help your business run. I know my success depends on what they do too.
Right. And it's interesting because there's a lot of statistics around this, that there's only 4 things you can control in life. We think we can control everything, but we can control what our attitude is, right? We can control what our self-talk is, what we're saying to each other. We can control what we put on our calendar, right? Like when we're going to be somewhere, what we're going to do, and then, actually what we do. But we want to control people. Our natural instinct is to control people. We can't. We can only inspire them. So how have you been able to, over the years, coaching in Panama and Taiwan, and how do you inspire these people when you can't do it for them?
You just hope they listen, Good thing about Panama, I met my wife down there, and that was a good thing down there.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing is, now if you tell the kids you did something, it's very easy for you to check up on, because they just get on their phone and say, yeah, this guy did this, this guy do that. And I think that's one thing, about your success. It carry on to them too. I see other coaches, I call them internet coaches. They go on the line, they never went through what I go through or some of the other major league players went through. That's why it's very important for, especially major league players or guys who played in the minor leagues too, to be honest to the kids and go out there and really help them, really talk straight to them, because they just don't believe you at what you state. It's a little tougher now. They're a little smarter now. They got, social media. So you really have to take your time with them. You just can't be in and out on them like you could before.
Right. And was that a tough transition for you? I see it a lot in professional sports when someone gets out of the game and they either move to the coaching side or they move to the broadcast booth and they want to stay in the game in some ways. And being on the other side of it, and it's been a while for you now.
Yeah.
How do you experience sports from a coach's perspective as opposed to a player's perspective?
Well, when you first get out, you really, really miss the game. Because you obviously think you still can play. Yeah.
Right.
Like I say, the difference is coaching. Your job depends on what other people do, And I guess too, you find out that it's a lot tougher to get a job when you get out. Because like I say, I think most players, successful players who think they should always be in the game, and all of a sudden, nobody won't call you back. So that's just, that's stuff that you go through, that part of retirement. I think everybody go through that 4 or 5 years. I always said about if you can get past that first 4 or 5 years, you're okay, because like you wake up, in the spring, you don't want to go to spring training, tough to watch baseball games. But, after a few years, you just settle into, father, being a husband, and then, and that's, important to you there. Baseball has been your life since you was 6 years old, basically. Then all of a sudden, it don't mean anything unless you watch the game. And all of a sudden, you say, hey, I can help people, I can help kids, I can help parents by coaching, by talking to them, by, going around the country, inspire them to be a better coach, sometimes, be a, better parents, because, some parents are pretty tough on their kids at times.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people that are business-minded, professional-minded, the type of person would listen to a podcast like what we're doing right now, are the type of people that have an ego. And I don't mean ego in a bad way, ego in a good way. Okay. And how has that transition been over the years to being somebody that probably has mics in your face every day and all the media stuff and all the stuff that comes along with being a professional? And then you're not on film all the time. You're not on television. What's that like?
Like you say, after a while, you get used to it. That's the whole time is, time take care of everything,
Sure.
It's, you look at some of the guys who, especially at the beginning, that, get coaches jobs or get manager job or get stuff like that. You say, gee, how did they get it? And then all of a sudden you say, hey, that's just what it is. Because baseball is a very, very strange game. It's not like football. It's not like, basketball when you're coaching and stuff, especially for minorities, because there's very few minority coaching, especially black, in the game of baseball. The game is basically taken over by Latin players, and I guess you need a Latin coach who can at least communicate with them. So, when I try to get a job, they ask me, "Oh, do you know Spanish?" No.
But I'll learn, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they asked me for my resume. I said, "I'll send you my baseball card. Look on the back of it." But no, it's just different in baseball than it is in other sports. You can see by coaching and, some of the ownerships. And the money's different, too. That makes a big difference right there, too.
Sure. So what you're doing now at Vegas Valley Batters Box, and for those of you who don't know, Bill runs a batting cage and coaching program in Henderson, Nevada. Is there some sort of mission or creed or some overriding aura or something that you're trying to create in your business?
Well, with the kids, I just enjoy yourself, and, have fun. Because, life, like say, it's a little different. I grew up, and they put a lot of pressure on the kids, just like when you said at the beginning, I had the opportunity to play basketball, baseball, football. Now these kids are just one sport. It doesn't matter, not only mindset, body wise, they get run down, and sometimes parents put a lot of pressure on that. I try to take a little bit of pressure off of them because, playing baseball for 8-9 months a year and then do the same thing with other sports, that's tough for them, not only mentally and physically, because you're using the same muscles every time. And I think the parents don't realize that. And, I think too, they want every kid to go in there, obviously want to be a major league player. But when I tell the parents, I said, when they leave there working with me, they'll be a better person and they'll be a better player. And I said, I'm not going to say they're going to be, go to the big leagues or do that, but they're going to be a better player than a better person.
Yeah. So this is a very simple question, but a very important question based on what our podcast is all about. What does the word legacy mean to you, Bill, in general?
Well, I think when I first got out, it was different. So I'm getting up in age, like I said, for us, what I did on the field, my kids, my wife, they know that. When I leave here, I want something to be there for them, to be, comfortable, I want them to live the same lifestyle that they're living now. And I think that's important to you. The older you get, the more important you look into it. I think that's a mega legacy, not just on the field. I want to leave the legacy off the field too, because, they can always look at what I did on the field.
Yeah. So that's an interesting thing. I think a lot of people, when they think legacy, they think, what did that person bring to this world? When they're gone, what kind of a lasting impression? How do you want to be remembered?
Well, I'm sitting here, my wife's over there and, my kids are healthy. So I'm happy. I want to know, that I had fun playing the game. I had fun teaching the game. A good coaches can change a game, but a great coaches can change life.
So how was your coaching career, both professionally and now at Vegas Valley Batters Box, helped you in shaping your own legacy as well as others you instruct? Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I think, because you're a good player or a great player or a mediocre, that don't mean you're going to be a good coach. You got to work just as hard at being a coach or being a communicator as you do as playing the game, because, obviously you got to communicate with the kids that you do, and I always said about the younger the kids are, the more I have to talk to them, like say, I've been fortunate to work with Manny Ramirez, Juan Gonzalez, Carlos Lee, and those are major league players. But every time I step down to the minor leagues and stuff, you got to be able to know how to communicate a little more.
Right.
These guys up there, you're talking to the best. Then all of a sudden you go down, you talk to guys who want to be the best. Then all of a sudden you're down to 12 and 13-year-olds. You might have to, I might say one word with Carlos Lee. And then, then when I'm down there with the 12, I might have to spend the whole time talking to the younger guys. And I think that's one thing, the big difference right there. And, I took my time and I know how to communicate with both boys and girls, for the game itself.
How would you summarize your own legacy as a baseball player? Is that different from how you describe your legacy as an individual? How would you like to be remembered as a baseball player? How would you like to be remembered as a coach? How would you like to be remembered by your students that you currently work with and you've worked with over the years, the kids and the adults? And then how would you like your family to remember you?
Well, I go with in baseball, I know people say, geez, when he went on the field, he put everything out there, to win. He would do whatever it takes to win a ball game. I know that's the reason I got my name Madlock, because I was kind of angry out there on the and, as a husband, as a father, I want my kids to, I could always come to him for any problem I have, because, I have 3 boys and one girl, and obviously, when you have one girl, whatever their problem is, they said, gee, I can come in and talk to him, then I would never turn my back on him. And I think my wife she would say the same thing. And then with the kids that I work with, I want to say not only they learn a lot about baseball, they learn a lot about life itself and how to succeed, because it's not easy out there now, because, in this world, we're going through some trying times. So, I think I helped them through that. And I charge for my lesson, but I do a lot of kids who in a situation who can't pay, I do them for nothing too. So when the kids go the way to college, I tell them, if anything come up, if you need to talk to me, feel free to call me anytime, and I'm there for them. And I think that's the whole thing, especially freshman kids, they going away from home for the first time. So I say, hey, I'm here for you, because there's sometimes, you talk to your coach, you talk to other people, but I want to be able to talk to me about, their success, their failure, because, especially baseball, I keep on telling them baseball is a game of failure. You got to learn how to fail before you succeed. And, that's the toughest thing for kids to do, but I said that don't mean you're not improving, you're not getting better. And I think that's one thing that you got to instill in the kids right there.
Yeah, I know that getting paid isn't the most important thing. We always get paid in life. Sometimes today, sometimes tomorrow, sometimes next week, next month, next year, if these things are in place. And tell me if you agree with me on this. You have the right attitude, the right heart, the right work ethic, the right skill set, and the right servants-minded attitude.
Well, I agree with you 100%. I've been very fortunate. I have banners of the kids that I work with, both boys and girls, where they at now. And probably I would say 85% of them are going on to college, and a few of them graduating, that's the best satisfaction right there. I go in, I look at those posters, and I said, they just didn't stop there. And I hope I had some type of hand into it for them to keep forwarding their career, not only in baseball, but, education wise too, not only, very few of them will play, Major League Baseball. Most of them, just going there for the fun, going there, getting a scholarship so their parents don't have to pay. And that's what I want to do, make it easier for their parents to send their kids to college. And, seeing all those posters up there. And to me, that's a success, because, I had my time.
Right.
In the big league. So so I'm here to help the kids.
There's that expression, I think, that if you help enough other people get what they want, you'll get what you want. But I think we help other people just because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's the right thing to do. And it's fun too, that helps me, doing that. I'm not sitting around doing nothing, I'm letting my knowledge go to the kids. And like you say, I just hope it make a difference in their life, not only early life, after baseball, after college. And I hope they, something that I said to them, they can take in a positive way.
So when I first met you over the phone, that I had a chance to meet you and get your life insurance set up here at Southwestern Legacy Insurance. And how did it make you feel, Bill, when I called you back and said, you're all set up, your wife's protected?
It felt good, because like you say, I wish I was going to be around forever, and
right.
But you're not, you want to leave, something for your wife, something for your kids and everything, and I felt good. I said, that's the part I don't have to think about right now. I could, just go on, and that's what you want to do. You want, that eased my mind. That eased my mind when I got that part of it settled.
Well, and it's interesting because when I'm out there talking to people every day, what happens when you purchase life insurance, you're taking that risk and stress of finances after you pass off of your plate, and you're putting it on the insurance carrier's plate. But that carrier now, that company now has a fiscal responsibility to take care of your family because you're doing your part of putting the money in every month. That must feel good to not have to, like you said, wear that on your plate anymore.
You don't have to have that on your shoulder. You can go out. That's one less thing you got to think about, and like I say, over the last couple of years, we have had a lot of stuff to think about. So that's just one less thing.
Yeah. So last question I have for you. When we're talking legacy, if you could give one piece of advice to the listeners out there of how to live your life in a way that you're leaving a lasting legacy, what would be your biggest piece of advice?
Well, that's a tough because, everybody is different. Everybody going through different things, and everybody going to go through different stages. They're going to go through good times, bad times, medium times and stuff. But, if I wake up and I'm smiling, that's good for me right there.
Well, thank you for your time today, Bill. Really appreciate it. Good luck to keep your business rocking and rolling. Thank you for your time today. I'm Gary Michaels. Have a great day. And remember to always turn it up a notch in your life. Always try to get better.
If you've enjoyed today's podcast and want to learn more, visit us at southwesternlegacy.com/action. Shoot us an email via our easy contact form to find out how you can become an agent or how we can meet your needs for final expense coverage. You can find this and other episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon, and anywhere else you listen to podcasts. Let's Talk Legacy is a presentation of the Southwestern Legacy Insurance Group, a member of Southwestern Family of Companies.